YouTube family. Welcome to my first video on my new channel, and today I'm going to be talking all about all the who, what, when, wheres, whys, and hows of how I cosplayed my very own D&D character. First and foremost, I'll introduce her a little bit. Her name is Agma. She is a Tiefling Warlock, and she was the second ever D&D character I created. My first ever character I created, her name is Midori, and she is a water genasi wizard. For sure, I will be introducing her to you guys and hopefully cosplaying her sometime in the near future as well. But for today, we just gonna talk about Agma, okay? So of course, the first thing that I did was I created the character. I didn't particularly have anything in mind, any expectations. I just kind of let my brother help guide me through the process of creating a character. My brother has been into Dungeons and Dragons for a long time, and so he kind of helped me start this whole interest in having and wanting to participate in the D&D hobby. So first and foremost, he did her character sheet with me. I learned a lot about her, and like I said, I just kind of went with the flow and like filled things out and thought about what kind of person she was and about her backstory, what she was like, as I filled out the character sheet. The more I knew about her and about, about the things that she did, about what her attitude was like, how she thought, her personal views, and all of those things under the surface came into play, it made it a lot easier for me to kind of construct how I wanted her to look on the surface. I knew I wanted her to have a skeletal tail and horns. That was something really cool and really important to me. My brother explained to me what tieflings were, all the different physical attributes of tieflings, and it sounded cool. It sounded like what I would really want for this character and where I was going with her. And as far as what she wore, I just kind of went off the vibe and aesthetic that popped into mind naturally as I was creating her. And so that's kind of where I started. And once I knew what I wanted for her on the surface, I created a list. I literally just made a list on my phone with different bullet points of where I wanted to start with collecting what I needed to cosplay her. So what I focused on most at first were like accessories or extra things about her, very definable things. I knew I wanted a certain kind of tail and certain kind of horns. I knew that I wanted her to have those fangs, the sharp canines that at least most that I've seen that most tieflings have. I know they're kind of like you can super customize them how you want, so maybe not all of them do, but I know I wanted her to. Luckily, all of this was happening around the Halloween season, so it was very easy for me to go place where I could find these kind of things. I'll kind of start from the top and go down. Her horns I got from Spirit Halloween. They were actually a gift. I was at Spirit Halloween. I saw those horns. I will show them to you now. These horns, if I'm not mistaken, they're supposed to be like witch doctor horns. But they have that bone look to them that I really wanted for her. And I'd seen horns online, and they just didn't quite seem like exactly what I wanted. Also, the Renaissance Festival, the Maryland Renaissance Festival was happening around this time. I looked for horns there. No dice, no pun intended. And I knew that these suited my vision perfectly for her. I love the shape of them. I love the look of them, how they look kind of like bone. And I was very excited about it. They're very lightweight as well, which was also important to me. I didn't want something that would feel super heavy on my head because I knew that there would be other accessories and things happening. And then her wig. I knew I wanted her to have either black hair or black and white hair. I've worn wigs a lot in the past. My natural hair is very curly, but I went through this phase in my life where I was transitioning from wearing my hair straight all the time to now I wanted to wear my natural hair. And during that time, I wore lace front wigs a lot. And I happened to find one of my old lace front wigs that was black. and I was like, this is perfect. And for those of you who don't just have a wig lying around, I recommend Amazon. That's where I got this wig. This is actually a wig that I used for another cosplay, My Hero Academia OC. This is her hair. But Amazon, beauty supply stores, if you pull up, like if you have the Waze app, or you could just Google it, beauty supply store near me, and go there, they'll probably have a lot of varieties, types of wigs. I recommend lace front because it's easier to make those look more real. And I know when you're cosplaying, that only matters like so much. But if that's something that matters to you, I would go with a lace front. And if it doesn't matter so much to you, then lace front or not won't matter. Of course, I wanted Agma to have the ears. This is one of her ears. It's got one of her little piercings on it that I like need to readjust. These I got from my brother. Actually, they were an extra set of ears that he'd ordered, and he let me have these, so that was great. That took that stress off my plate. And if I'm not mistaken, he got those from Amazon. And her sharp canines I also got off of Amazon. I didn't want her to look too vampiric because she's not a vampire, so I found some good length ones that I liked, that I will pop a picture of right here if you guys wanted to search for it. Those worked really well for me. They were like long enough to still be definable as like, she's got teeth girl, but they weren't too long and too much to where it made me look like a vampire, at least in my opinion. So I really liked those. And then her tail was something that I put a lot of thought and time into trying to decide how I was gonna do it. Like, I kind of figured before I found what I ended up finding to use, I was pretty much like, you know what, I'm probably gonna have to find somebody like a cosplay prop person and commission it as a special thing to be made, because I couldn't find exactly what I was looking for anywhere. I wanted it to be a skeletal tail. It's no exceptions. And you know, my brother suggested, well, you can start with this and then you can find the tail you want. No, I am not that kind of person. I am all or nothing. If I can't put it together exactly how I want it, then I won't do it. I'll wait until it is to my expectation, like until it is exactly how I want it. Now, luckily, as I mentioned earlier, this was around Halloween time or a little bit before, so we had Spirit Halloweens up, and I frequented Spirit Halloweens, as I always do, because I love spooky stuff. I love horror and Halloween. Halloween is my favorite holiday. It always has been. So I spent a lot of time just poking around in Spirit Halloween. I just so happened in like the back corner where they have like the skeleton animals, like they had a skeletal bird, skeletal sea life, skeletal dogs and cats and stuff like that. They had a skeleton two-headed snake. And I was like, that two-headed snake looks exactly how I want Agma's tail to look. So I bought it. Here it is. The head of the snake was held on by screws, and so I just had my brother take a screwdriver to it. He had to put some elbow grease into it, like it was on there, but he was able to pop the head off, and voila, a perfect skeletal tail. And it's very like bendy, so like I can bend it and curl it up a little bit if I want to, or I can make it stick straight. Like, I could bend it like that. I could pretty much do whatever I want to it. Agma's outfit has like a waist, like cargo bag thing that's held together corset style. And so I literally just put this underneath it before I tighten her waist belt, and it holds it to her bum perfectly. So that was great. All the main points were out of the way. I was just left to figure out what I wanted her to wear. I wanted to like kind of suit her style to the style that I like personally. I gave her a very like goth style, not necessarily a signature outfit, but signature pieces that stay in her outfit. Like, it's always a little black shirt, her waist belt bag thing, which you guys will see in the pictures, and then this black kind of slightly gathered skirt that I've had in my closet like forever, and it was perfect for her. And then I had these black booties with like this faux button on the side, and these were just things that I already owned, that were already in my closet, that happened to suit the vibe and aesthetic that I wanted for her. And as far as her accessories go, she's got little like glovelets, maybe is what you could call them. I don't know. They're like, I don't know. Again, you'll see them in the photos. She also has like a silver chain headpiece, which I got off of Etsy. And I'll leave the shop here so you guys can see where I got that from. And as far as her makeup, I am no makeup artist, and I'm especially no cosplay makeup artist. So I wanted her to have like a signature makeup look, but I didn't want to make it something that was so complicated that it would be hard for me to create it every time. So I did like a double wing kind of situation. Again, you'll see it in the photos, with black lip and like a glittery silver line that goes from here down to like her bottom lids, just to add a little something extra special, to make it more than just a basic makeup, just to add a little something. So that became her signature makeup. Of course, you don't have to include any of your character's weapons if you don't want to, but I just wanted to have something cool, a little something extra, a prop that I knew I could use for when I eventually did like take photos in cosplay as her. And one of her weapons is a scythe, and we had all this bone stuff going on, bone, skeletal tail, bone horns. So I knew I wanted her to have a scythe, and I just kind of had a plain black scythe in mind. So take us back to our Spirit Halloween trip. They had fake, you know, prop scythes there for dressing up for Halloween. And I go to grab one, and I notice this scythe right here, like right next to the one I grabbed. I noticed this and saw it, and I was like, could there be anything more perfect? Like, it's perfect for her whole skeletal deal that I want her to have. And so I got really lucky in that regard. Sorry, I'm like trying to set it to the side here. I'm like causing chaos in the kingdom. Here we go. Okay. Not sponsored at all, but shout out to Spirit Halloween, because they played a big part in me finding a lot of stuff for her. And maybe it doesn't make me the most professional cosplayer to like buy my props. I know that it's maybe not as notable as me creating my own props, but I'm just not at that skill level. And I feel like if you find something for your cosplay that is exactly what you want, then like screw anybody who has a problem with you buying it. You definitely won't receive any judgment from me. And lastly was just putting everything together. I recommend, first and foremost, I definitely feel like you want to put your clothing, costume clothes, on before you do your makeup. What I did was I put like a little hand towel and kind of like stuck it into my shirt bib style, so that if any makeup spilled, it would just fall on the towel. I can only imagine how stressful it would be trying to like put a shirt on and put stuff on if I had a full face of makeup already and I was trying really hard like not to touch my face at all. I think it's a good idea to put on your clothes first, then do your makeup. And then after you do your makeup is when you're gonna want to put your accessories on. Then you put your wig on. Then you put your ears on. Then you put your teeth in. Then, you know, you put your horns on top of the wig. All of that stuff. That's what I recommend personally, and that's what worked for me. And everything like turned out exactly how I want to. Nothing got messed up by doing things in that order. So that's just what I recommend. And then we took the photos. My brother took the photos on his camera. He also took photos. If I'm not mistaken, he was a character from another tabletop RPG that he plays, and I was Agma, and we just took photos. I think it's really nice to take cosplay photos outside. and I wanted her to have like a foresty setting. Even though she's not like a druid or anything, her backstory doesn't necessarily have anything to do with nature or the forest, but I just thought it would be pretty, and it was fall time, and I turned out to really love the photos. So I recommend, unless you've got access to like an actual studio with like all the bells and whistles, if you're just your regular average Joe like me, I definitely recommend taking your photos outside during the day, probably like early in the day before the sun sets at its highest point, which is typically around like 2 p.m. to take your cosplay photos. And definitely have somebody there to help you, a friend, a family member, anybody. I was lucky me and my brother are kind of on the same page. We both knew what we wanted, and we both were able to understand what the other person wanted because we were both taking photos in cosplay, so it was easy for us to kind of be like, oh, well, if it was me in front of the camera, I would want this angle to show off this about my costume, and vice versa. And yeah, that's how I brought Agma to life. Agma has become such a big part of my life. I hope you guys enjoy her and enjoyed me talking about her. Stay tuned for a character journal video because I am creating Agma her very own D&D character journal, and I'm very excited about it. I hope you guys will be too. And as a little added surprise, I did take a small little video on the day of photo shoot as I was Agma, so that you guys could kind of like see her in action, see what she's all about and what she looks like. So I will show you that now. Hi! So I figured there wouldn't be quite as much substance to this video if I didn't actually show you guys me some actual video footage as Agma. The idea of Agma always made me really excited. I think it's really fun. Anyway, for anybody who plays D&D and you've never cosplayed your character before, but you've thought about it, definitely give it a try. It's actually a lot easier than you think to get everything you need. You might just have to get a little creative like I did with like Agma's tail. If there's any way that I can help, you can always message me on my Instagram. Let me know what your character is, what you're looking for, and I will help because I've helped friends before finding cosplay stuff, finding good reference pictures for an OC that like they've scoured Pinterest and the internet and everything and they couldn't find, but somehow I was able to find very easily. I don't know what it is. I'm just good at finding things like that. So I'm happy to help any way I can. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoy Agma. But anyway, we will jump to the last part of the video. I'll see you guys later. Well, there she is. Isn't she awesome? The only thing that I would really change is that Agma doesn't notably have any tattoos or piercings, and I have tattoos and piercings, and I do not have the mental or physical bandwidth to cover my body in skin-colored paint to make myself look tattoo-less to cosplay her. So, you know, when I cosplay her, she's got tattoos and piercings. If anybody else ever cosplayed her that didn't have tattoos and piercings, it might look a lot more like what I want her to look like and what she looks like in my head, but I think it's okay. When I cosplay her, it's just like a little alt girl version of Agma, I guess. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed making this. I enjoyed creating Agma. Cosplaying as Agma. I'm hoping I'll have lots of opportunities to cosplay her in the future. MagFest is coming up, so I might be cosplaying her there. If any of you guys will be at MagFest, let me know in the comments. Like I said, stay tuned if you would like to see Agma's character journal video. I do plan on uploading on this channel twice a month, same 2 days every month, so that we can get a little structure here, and I hope you guys will bear with me. If you guys have any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I already kind of know what I want to do here, but I am always open for suggestions. So I'm gonna stop yapping and I will put Agma's pictures in for you guys to see. I hope you guys enjoy them. I love y'all, and I will see you next time.